Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Terry and I are happy to be here with you guys today. Hope everybody is feeling all creative, right? How you doing, Terry? I know you were racing here at the last minute. You guys should have seen her. She slid in just in the nick of
time. I got sidetracked a little bit while I was working on my bench, and I was thinking, I need to move my workspace upstairs at some point when we want to bring the bedroom downstairs and my workspace upstairs. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're getting rid of all this furniture up on the hill. What if some of it could be converted into,
Callie, no.
Oops. Shelving units and stuff that I need for all this stuff. And then we're going to throw it out, and then we're going to go, oh, geez, I wish we had it. And so I'm like, I'm thinking of what we could use for what purpose. And then I look down and it's 2 minutes of 3. And I went,
hold on just a minute here. Tally, you might need to go sit in Daddy's office. Yeah. You need to go lay down somewhere. Yeah. Somebody heard me get all excited. So, of course, that means, So who do we have here? I see Philippa and Julia. Corinne, oh, my goodness. It's been forever since you've been able to join us. Michelle and Joanne. Oh, lovely, lovely. I just realized there was another link I needed to grab for you guys, and I'm going to grab it while everybody checks in. And...
Michelle said she got her package and it's great and very generous of you, and she loves all of it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you can use all the good stuff. So I have another link for you guys besides the stash. Here is a link to, I must have slid my camera over. So we're going to have to, I'm going to be slightly off center, and I'm going to be okay with it because.
And Regina just popped in.
Hi, Regina. So this is a link to Fiber Arts Take 2. Hi, Sue. And it's the link to Fleur Wood's embroidery class. So if it's something that you're thinking about doing, they are expensive classes. They're $400. But if you go to that page, even if you're not thinking about the class, if you go to that page and you scroll way down to the bottom, because it's a long page, there is a 10-minute video with me talking about my experience. I was very honored to be asked to talk about my experience in the class and working with Fiber Arts Take 2. And they did a marvelous editing job, and they made me look really good. So, go down there and watch it and give them some feedback. I don't know where, maybe it'll show up on Instagram or their YouTube channel. I hope it'll show up on their YouTube channel. Regina's here.
Always nice to look really good.
It did, it just really... it also kind of made me want to up my game with some other videos. So it was nice. It was really nice to be asked. And yeah, so life is crazy. So you don't have to go out and buy new stuff. You can just use stuff you already have. Isn't that awesome?
Who knows? Maybe John can work some magic. I'll have to
mention it. He will. He's very good at that.
Absolutely.
So you're going to move your workspace up top so you'll be warmer in the wintertime?
No, we actually want to move it down. The bedroom downstairs is the priority because we want a master bath.
Ah, nice.
I want a soaking tub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. I want to have, candlelit romantic evenings just soaking with my sweetheart.
That sounds like a plan.
I don't want a hot tub. They're way too much maintenance.
Yeah, I like the idea of a hot tub in theory, but yeah, the maintenance thing, no. We have a perfect spot for it just outside our master bedroom, and it's like, no. But maybe an outdoor bathtub, that might be the way to do it, is an outdoor bathtub that was kind of enclosed.
Well, we're thinking of putting sliding glass doors near a large tub. And then what we'll do is we'll just, we'll have our soak and go out and sit on there and chat and read our books for the evening and stuff. that would be nice.
I think that sounds nice. We have a bathtub in our hall bath, but it's really short. And well, Eric can't really, sit in it without, his toes curling because he's tall. And it just doesn't feel luxurious like you want a bath to feel. It just feels like, okay, this is a
that's
functional.
exactly how our tub upstairs feels. And it's like, okay, which end do I soak? This end of me or that end of me? And so you kind of rotate, and you have a hard time rolling over. And it's do you remember the days when you were a kid and you could slide from one end of the bathtub to the other?
Wasn't that fun? We displace a little bit more water now than we did. Oh, Corinne. She says, Terry, convinced my husband that we need to move our bedroom downstairs. I've tried for years. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did? I worked some magic for you?
No, she wants you to convince her husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just glad we don't have stairs anymore. Our last house, I didn't mind that the bedroom was upstairs because we didn't spend that much time in it. You just went up there once a day. But then the laundry going up and down was not a whole lot of fun. So
yeah, well, I don't know. I don't tend to do the laundry. John does. Because he runs out of clothes to work in. I don't.
All right, let's switch these cameras around and I will show you what I'm starting today.
Bye, everybody.
Let me go back over here and switch to that one. There we go. I didn't even bother to see if I was lined up. I was frantic this morning. Not frantic. I was distracted. That's what it was. I was distracted, and I'm just going to leave that go. Just like that. Sorry, it'll stop bouncing in a minute. That's the only problem with these things is they do bounce. So I know this is kind of boring, but I'm realizing with the live streams, I need to make them work for the projects that I've got going on. I can't continue my habit of starting something new that is not in alignment with where I want to go. So this is, it's a blank canvas, and I'm kind of playing in my head. So now I need to play with reality of a new way to build stuff. And so when I say boring, I just pulled this right back out. Where's my needle? There's my needle threader. I'm going to fill this is just a small, I think this is just a 6-inch hoop. I'm going to fill it with French knots. And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to fill it with French knots and colors that are going to coordinate, because then I can piece things together to make something larger rather than trying to start with a large something, because this concept I have is more about colors rather than, shades of green rather than a plan. I have another one that I'm working on in my head that actually has a plan, and that'll be a little differently. So just kind of experimenting, trying to push myself. I'm hanging out in a few new artsy arenas, trying to level up my game. It was being interviewed by Fiber Arts Take Two about the Fleur Woods class was really wonderful because, of course, if you have an interviewer that's asking you really good questions, that always makes everything better. And Ursula was fabulous at asking good questions. And then seeing the way they pulled it all together, you forget that you know stuff. You forget how far you've come. And so episodes like that just kind of really help you see, okay, yeah, I am making progress on my path here. But I'm also making changes. I'm letting go of some other activities I've been doing. And I don't know about anybody else, but those changes are hard. Philippa wants to know, is anyone in the path of the Hurricane Helene? I don't know. Do we have anybody in that area? I hope not. That's scary stuff. So let me know what are you working on, Terry? You were working on at your workspace. What were you working on?
I am making bracelets, stone bracelets, and I just got through doing a whole bunch of them with alternating pieces, and now I'm doing some with that have slimmer wrist bands, but with decorative stones in the front.
So what are the
And
wristbands? Are they metal
they're
or
beaded.
fabric? They're
They're
beaded.
bead.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, they're beaded. Um, so I'm doing that, and I've got I think it's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, I think. I have to look at my schedule, but I have a show coming up the first of the on the 5th of October.
Ah, yeah, you're getting into your busy season now, so
Oh
you
my
gotta have
God.
inventory.
Yep, I've got that coming up, and I've also got my annual Christmas show coming up.
Wow.
The one where we all set up our own space, but it's one checkout. It's like a store,
Yeah. Nice.
and we'll be setting up the second. Oh no, the first week of November.
Wow. You better get
Yeah,
busy.
yeah. And then we run through till Christmas Eve, and
Nice.
yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do, and it always goes well, and it's nice. You set up for a whole month, and you don't have to worry about breaking down and everything, and I can do things that I wouldn't normally do at a juried show,
Yeah.
because I don't, I can diversify, so I can sell anything that I want to make. And the
Nice.
last couple of years, the thing that's been doing really well for me is I make more or less swags. They're door arrangements, but they're more vertical than round,
Mm-hmm.
instead of a wreath. And I use recycled Christmas trees,
Nice.
and I've got some old recycle uh, uh, like flexible flyer sleds, and
Nice.
I have
Oh,
some old snowshoes that I'm going to be decorating, and
wonderful.
so yeah, that gives it a little variety. And I use lots and lots of native pine cones and things,
Nice.
and yeah, the last couple years, those have been like some of my hottest items.
Terrific. Yeah, Sue, change is nearly always hard. And it's one of those. I've been thinking a lot about that old movie some of you might remember, To Sir with Love. It's like, you thank somebody for the help they've given you along the way, and then you say, but bye, I'm done now. And so that's kind of hard. As some people find it easier to close that kind of stuff off, but I don't. Andrea is squirreling, attempting to thin out my stash. Good luck with
Yeah.
that. That means you'll just go down to more opt shops, right? Because you'll have room for more stuff. That's been my thing. I've been
And Sue
loving that.
Brown says she's making little quilts for cats in our local shelter.
Oh, lovely.
And Michelle says she's working on cards, vintage grungy with a little bit of everything.
Nice.
And Sue Brown says, I remember seeing a couple of those swags you made in the group, Terry. Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's really fun, and it
Wait a
helps.
minute.
What?
Hi from Scotland. Just wanted to say thank you for the Perfect is a Trap episode. Everything you talked about resonated. Thank you so much for popping in to say that. We love having visitors from all over the world. We'd love to know what kind of creative work you enjoy doing. But thank you so much for letting me know.
Entropicity.
And what a wonderful name.
Yeah. Can you tell us the definition of that word?
Yeah.
From
How
your
did you choose that
perspective.
name?
I could look it up, but we would like to know what made you choose it to represent you.
Yes. Philippa said, found a handbag foundation in my stash, so I'm making lots of snippet rolls to cover it. Bright colors with lots of embroidery and beads. I love it. That's a good idea, too. Taking even just old cloth purses that you could recover with stuff.
Yeah.
6 bags, Andrea. That's amazing. Good for you. Hey, Mouse. Okay, what did you say? Entropic entity. Ah.
Entropic.
Now says entropic as in you are chaotic.
Wow. Could be.
Well, to be creative, aren't we all a little chaotic in our brains? I mean, I know I am.
Absolutely.
It took me so long to calm down my brain enough to just start after I'd cleaned out, a bunch of stuff in the garage and I had people coming by to pick up stuff they were buying. And then it's like, I needed to just okay, I need to go back to work, but no, I want to get rid of more stuff. Oh, but now I want to start this new project because now I have these things that and we're all over the place. I still can't see the island in the studio, but I'm hopeful that someday I will only have the projects in progress laid out on there. I know you guys can laugh.
The other day I had so many ideas flying past my mind. My interviewing screen. I felt like I was in the Wizard of Oz in the middle of the hurricane.
And the stuff just starts flying
by. And next thing you know, I'm waving at the little witch pedaling her bicycle.
It like comes on all at once. Hey, Amber, how are you feeling? Are you getting over COVID? She says, slow getting here today, was doing adult things like laundry. Yeah, I was looking at the laundry baskets that were rather full and thinking I probably need to do that. But today's a multi-meeting day. Hey, Barbara, followed a squirrel down into a Procreate lesson. Have you found somebody doing good videos on Procreate, Barbara?
Oh, because quite a few.
I know. There was somebody that was recommended as like one of the best teachers, and I need to find that list again because I kind of want to spend some time on that. I'll never, do like detailed drawing, but I would like to learn to kind of map things out just a little bit better.
Our entropic friend has said, LOL, definitely prone to chaos. Watching your videos has helped me slowly transform my cats into ducks.
Well, herd them right along, right? You are in with a light group of people here, let me tell you. Oh, Jennifer Nichols. Okay, that's good. I mean, I need to mark this comment so I can come back to it because I know I need. Go ahead.
I'll put it in a text to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was really fun. One of the things I had a whole bunch of like odds and ends that there wasn't enough to really make it worth trying to sell, just like odd pieces that I had been saving for different artsy things. Oh, thank you, Barbara. And one of the gals that came to pick up some stuff was an art teacher at an elementary school. So man, before she got here, I went through the garage and filled up like 2 more bins of stuff for her. And she was so glad to get it. And I was so glad to get it out of the garage. It's hard to believe how much I could have furnished 2 more studios with what was in the garage. It was ridiculous. So I know this is not the most exciting thing to watch, French Knots, but you guys tell me that you come here for the conversations. So I'm leaning into that because I really, like I said, I'm really trying to get a handle on going, narrowing my focus so that my productivity might improve a little bit. Yeah, might not be available yet because it was live. Thank you. Yeah, I was really happy to have some of it go off to a school. And another gal took a bunch of fabric. She makes dresses for children in third world countries. So she was happy to take that fabric. But you have to get to that mental state where you're ready to let go of the stuff. You can't just go through willy-nilly. You have to be mentally ready to not beat yourself up much about getting rid of the things.
I actually watched a program the other day that was an interview on 2 ladies who had co-written a book called Your Brain on Art.
Ooh.
And I believe one of them was actually the widow of Robin Williams.
Huh.
And they were talking about how important the arts are as far as developing so many things that we take for granted, perceptions, and the ability to visualize things and things like
Mhm.
that. And they were talking about how it's such a loss that that a lot of the school programs are cutting
Yeah.
out or minimizing their art programs.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Sue says the cat quilts are giving me an opportunity to use up some odd blocks and little pieces that have been around too long. That is great.
and Barbara says, I just got a new stitching book thanks to Anne Lahar. And Carol McDonald, it's called Mystical Stitches. Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
That
That
sounds
sounds,
interesting.
yes. And Sue Brown says, ooh, that sounds intriguing, Barbara. And Joanne says, I'm actually watching you make French knots so that the next time I pick up a needle, mine will be better. Yes.
Well,
Real.
let me say something about my French knots. These are not great French knots. Let's see. Um, uh, I can bring you in a minute. Bring you in a little closer on this one and show you. These are not really great French knots. These are, sloppy French knots with things hanging over. But for this first layer, for me, that's perfect. And Entropic Entity, that's the same thing. She says, I'm finding inspiration in watching how fast you can, whip them out. The thing is, I know what I'm doing with this piece, and I know that, I don't just have one layer of French knots. If I was trying to fill in a flower, I would be going much slower, and I would be coming up, and I would be being very careful about where I went down so I didn't have a long tail hanging out. And I would really have to take my time and make a little bit of a different knot. But because I'm doing this, because I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here. I'll just do a little bit of it here. And I'm just going to fill in the space. And this is the way I start a wildscape, is then I'll come over here and I'm going to come over those little edges because I don't want it to be completely flat across the fabric. I want those little rises. And so this one's got a longer tail, which just tells me I'm just going to do a couple more French knots over there. And I love working this way because it makes it, I think, look a little bit more natural. If I was doing a flat embroidery that was going to be framed, hung to hang, on the wall like that, I would probably, I would attempt to be more careful. But the truth is, I don't like to work that precisely. It stresses me out. I don't know. I admire looking at that kind of embroidery and think it is amazing when I see those exquisite, perfect French knots and perfect stitches that just look like they belong. But it is not an enjoyable process for me. And that's why I've had to develop my own way of working and get out of my own way and not try to strive for perfection, but instead look for what was going to give me the texture that I want in a piece. Because for me, it's all about texture. It really is. So now it doesn't matter how those bottom ones look. And if you keep piling them up on top of each other, any other little imperfections just kind of blend in, especially if you're using a variegated thread. And this is an absolutely marvelous yarn, fingering weight. It's a combination of merino wool and yak, and I absolutely love it. And I get it from, this is Yakety Yak. So, and this has silk in it too. Merino wool, yak, and silk. Talk about butter. This is from the shop Lavender Sheep on Etsy, and she just does beautiful dyeing.
Mouse says, I was recently thinking about how I understood calculus because I could visualize rotating objects. Learning about aphasia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I now realize how difficult it must have been for some classmates.
Oh, because they didn't have the same. Yeah.
Yeah. What really amazes me is how many artists have aphasia.
And do you want to give the class a definition of that for those people that don't understand what it is?
I am going to do that right now.
That's awesome.
I'm
It
doing
does make it really lush. And see, to me, let me see if I take it off of here because I want to move this thing.
I know we've looked it up before and I forget what it is.
Let's see if I can get the angle right. So you can see it's just a little bit more interesting. Tally dog hairs included free in all art. It's just a lot more interesting, and it kind of hides any imperfections. And I need to move this because I keep catching the yarn on there. And so I do have some tape. A speech issue. Oh, aphasia is a speech issue. Aphantasia is a visual issue. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know those very well, so I won't even pretend. And now my little thing, I tell you, these little guys, if you don't have them, are so handy because I can just hook those little ends of the fabric up over there, because I don't know how many times I have sewn into the wrong thing there. This is kind of high. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. And, you know, even though this is a green background, you know me, you're not going to see that green because this is going to be covered with French knots. So I just have, this is some pretty thin material, so I just have 2 pieces of it. Sue says that could explain why I had so much trouble with geometry. Couldn't visualize what the heck the teacher was talking about. Same thing. But the one that I could follow was non-Euclidean geometry because it was, I don't know, it was weird.
Euclid's complicated enough.
Yeah. It was different. It wasn't the norm. And then, you know, I'm always outside of the norm.
The thing of it is I can grasp the concept, but I can't see the image.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to meditate, it's like I have the idea, but I don't get a visual image.
Yeah. It's taken me a long time to work, and I can't always do it, but to work to getting better at visual images. End pieces. Do you mean these little things here, Michelle, or do you mean something else? These are just, they're awesome. They were like, you know, I think $5 on Amazon, and I can't remember what they're called, but oh, grilled cheese sandwich. Love those.
Oh, I'll take one to go with tomato soup. It's chilly here.
So yeah, you are using geometry of a sort to piece your quilts. Yeah, these are shoot, I'll look up what they are and I'll put the link in the group, in the Facebook group, but they're just wonderful. I think to find them, I think I Googled, because I saw somebody else had them. I Googled, like, you know, hold your fabric on your embroidery hoop. But I'll put the link, and they were really reasonable. And because sometimes, you know, you're working with a really big piece of fabric and it's getting in the way. And then I have my floor stand that I'm usually working on, and that gets even more in the way. So it's become handy. Now, you guys don't make me hungry. I've got like one meeting after another today. It's crazy. It's good, but it's crazy. I'm going to go to a PT consultation about my knee, since we had the MRI last week and we got the horrible results. Sue says, I'm relying on the geometry someone else has done to tell me what sizes and shapes to cut my patches, but my mental math has gotten a lot better, figuring dimensions and stuff. Yeah, that kind of stuff would just completely stop me in my tracks. Couldn't do it. That's why I could never sew clothes. Yeah, Michelle, I would cut the fabric, but sometimes, like if you're working on a really large piece, like, you know, like you're trying to do like a wall piece, you can't really do that. That's not gonna, well, I'll just cut it on top. Now you'll note I'm not knotting this stuff because they're French knots. They're not going to come off easily. And I just do a few little back stitches. I love that sound. I love the sound of the yarn going through the fabric. Yeah, if you're not using a hoop, it doesn't make any difference. But when I'm doing so many of the stuff that I do, it just makes it so much easier to have both hands free. And then I'd like to get to the point where all I'm doing is off the hoop is joining the pieces together. So we'll see if this idea works. Hey, Barbie, how are you doing today? What is it that Mouse said?
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm looking for one of those embroidery things. Mouse says, I heard an artist who recently realized she had aphantasia, and it explained why she tends to collage her art. She didn't realize other people can visualize compositions without having to collage them. Ah.
Oh, Barbie says she has aphantasia. Interesting.
The
rabbit holes we fall down here. I'm so jelly I can't visualize. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's why I could never visualize. I know when I was writing and people would tell me that other friends would tell me that they were just watching the characters act out on the stage and they would write down what they were doing. And I never saw them. I only heard voices. So with me, it was all auditory, which may explain so many crazy things. I'm going to have, so now, okay, I'm going to have a big old loop here that's not going to come all the way through. And you know what? That's okay, because that just means more texture, right? It just means adding a few more French knots on top of it. So don't come to me if you want to learn how to do a perfect stitch. Come to me if you want to learn how to cover up your imperfect stitches so they make you happy. That's always my goal. Is this making me happy? I'm thrilled to finally use this yarn because when I first got it, it seemed way too bright. I don't know why, but because it's a lovely mossy green, but kind of with a hint of chartreuse kind of, but I had to like stare at it for a while and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start and I'll make some of my little gathered hills because I want higher hills in my pieces. So when you look at something, let's see, like this one, if I can even get okay. I'm trying to even get to where you can see the angles. I have hills. So things do go, up and down, but they're not as steep as I would like them to be. And the way I get those hills is if I start on a small piece and go up a level, in a hoop, then I can add a little bit of padding underneath it, some felt or some stuffing. But if I want to go bigger, I want to go high hills, I think I need to make the hills first and then add them to the valleys. Yeah, Sue, that come here to figure out how to cover up your imperfect stitches. That's kind of what I do, right? Huya, I'm sorry we haven't had anybody translating for you yet.
I'm
Are you
working
on it? Okay, good. Thank you. With trapunto, it might, except then you kind of have to figure out with trapunto, what you do is you have your piece and then you're going to cut underneath and stuff it. But you have to kind of, I don't know, you'd have to do it on a larger scale in order to go up. I think this is going to give me what I want. Let's see, do I have a piece of something that's not, well, okay, this isn't French knots. This is just something else. But what I want to be able to do, move this out of the way, is scrunch it like this. And then I can do all the sculpting that I want to do with my needle, gather it like a little, awkward pillow, and then I can stitch it to my larger pieces. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what I do when I Entropics entity says perhaps stacking and contouring fabric pieces for padding. I will need to do it with something that's got embroidery on it. Let me take this thing off the hoop and show you. So what I'll do is I will stitch something like this, like a fabric zit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So picture
That's
that this
so
was
much.
all the way about, this was all French knots. And then I would be moving it up to a larger hoop. And then I would have, okay, I'm going to use a ball of thread, but I would have padding underneath there. And then I stitch it down. So then part of it, but I want to be able to sculpt it a little bit more, sort of like making one of those old sock dolls we used to make. And then I can do it like a soft sculpture doll, like if you're making it with pantyhose and you stuff the pantyhose and then you can bring the needle back and forth. Mouse said, when learning topics like geometry, I assumed I could visualize how a 2D object could be folded into 3D due to sewing and origami background. But now I'm realizing some people just can't. Yeah, you totally lost me even just with that. My brain just doesn't go there. It's like, boom. What did Barbara say?
Oh, Julia said that because she doesn't know what we're talking about, she's asking something that she's curious about.
Okay.
So what she had asked was, oh, let me back up. It was something about food. What is famous for your place is loved as food. So she wanted to know what in your area of the woods basically is a famous food that's loved.
Oh, well, this time of year, corn on the cob.
Mm.
I don't know. Steak, barbecue. Yeah, Barbie, that's kind of what I figured about mystical stitches. Not new stitches, but ways of just putting them together in different ways and appealing to people that like that mystical side of things. All right, this may not have been the best choice for background fabric because it's shredding. And I'm going to give me all these little things, but I'm just going to say that's a little padding, okay? This kind of stuff would stress me out years ago because I'd be working with, perfection. Got little threads. I'm not even going to worry about, cutting them off. Barbara said, if you can imagine all the symbols you love, you could imagine them made by stitching. Oh. Yeah, I think a lot of the stitch books now, because really there aren't new stitches. I mean, there might be new ways of putting them together, but the idea of taking a theme, the mystical ones or the whimsical characters, they're not quite patterns, but they're giving you new ways to put those stitches together to create things. I'm making a mess over here. Oh, sourdough bread. Yeah, we have a great bakery around here. Okay, and our little coffee shop makes amazing chocolate croissants. Sue says our part of the world is famous for growing apples. All right, you guys, everybody's going to be hungry, right? And Barbara's sitting there with her grilled cheese sandwich. Chowder and sourdough bread. Okay. No, fly stitch is detached and feather stitch is like a traveling stitch. Yeah, I don't have any. Oh, wait a minute here. So this is the feather stitch because it's all, it's just traveling down. And the fly stitch is like the little V's, but they're not attached. New Hampshire and Vermont make maple syrup. Andrea says Yorkshire pudding. Oh, Ghirardelli chocolate, jelly beans. Okay, Mouse, you've been down to the boardwalk lately? Is that it? Because that's what it sounded like.
Oh, chowder and sourdough bread. Oh my gosh. That sounds wonderful.
No, it doesn't. It's a
Yeah.
texture thing. I can't
Well,
do the
it's like 55 degrees now, so it just sounds so warm and filling.
You do attach the bottom. You attach it at let's see. You attach it kind of like the fly stitch, but you don't then you move on someplace blank. So yeah, 2 separate straight stitches that make the V. And it's nice if you're trying to hit a certain effect, like they make great seagulls or little birds going across. Oh yes, Entropic Entity is in Scotland, so she says haggis. I've had haggis once in my life. We had a Scottish gentleman that I worked with back in corporate. He brought it in and made sure everybody had a bite. Was not something I was likely to order again. Amber says, my area is known for Cincinnati chili. Gold Star and Skyline chili are well-known names for it. Ah.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Barbara says, we recently got an air fryer and boy, are we hooked. It makes the best grilled cheese sandwiches. Really? Does the bread get browned? Corinne says, in Maine, it's lobsters and new red potato fries, corn on the cob, maple apple crisp. Wow. Tell me who isn't hungry now, right?
Okay.
What you looking for, Terry?
Emily says, I don't know if you know how to use it online. I'm
You're
just
lost.
Yeah, I'm doing a translator that is right here in chat.
Oh, interesting.
And I found it the first time, and it's taken me a while to figure out how to use it again. But I don't know if it's translating her intent properly.
Perfectly toasted, cheese melted perfectly, a tiny bit of butter on each side. All right. Well, that might be something in the plus side of an air fryer. We couldn't figure out that there was a whole lot of use for one around here.
My daughter wants to get one madly. Because you can make foods that are somewhat akin to deep fried, but without all the calories because they're not saturated.
Healthy pizzas with mangoes, pizza with broccolis.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not coming to eat with you, Mouse. Sorry. Michelle said, I'm thinking about getting an air fryer from Dash brand. They have small ones. Huh. Oh, Entropic Entity says, I don't know many Scots who eat haggis. There's a nice vegetarian version that I enjoy, but I would rather pretty much eat anything else.
I think they just like saying it.
Well, they like to mess with us that haven't had it before.
The air fryer has saved zucchini month around here.
Yeah, those of you that enjoy your zucchini, it does grow a lot, doesn't it?
John absolutely loves it, but I need him to decide what he wants done with it. I mean, it goes bad before he makes up his mind. Oh, we had a what do you call them? I want to say rugrat, but that's not that not a groundhog, I think. A woodchuck.
Woodchuck. Oh.
It tunneled like 30 feet and came up in the middle of the greenhouse and ate all the zucchini plant leaves. I mean, we're talking leaves that are like, I don't know, almost 3 feet across. And they have big spiky thorny things on them, and that little sucker ate them like they're cupcakes. I
Okay, there's
see.
something new from Julia.
Linda made up a recipe for chicken fajitas, and it's fabulous. Bits of chickens, peppers, cukes, onions, zap it for 6 minutes, stir it a couple times, and yowza. Mouse says that what's popular in her area is California rolls, sushi with avocado. And then Mouse says avocado toast and raw oysters. Oh boy. Julia, this is good stuff. Getting me hungry.
All right, let's thread another couple needles.
And Julia says, I heard that your chocolates are very good. I love chocolates like everybody else.
Yes, big chocolate lovers here. Is in and out a California thing? Yeah, wasn't it more of a Southern California thing before some of them moved here? I think we got one in our area, Mouse. I can't remember. Is there one down there by Marianne's? Or is that another burgery place?
Let me see. Sue Brown says, I've never seen them anywhere else, Mouse.
Mm.
Oh, and Amber says that she loves California rolls.
I like my fish cooked, please. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
California
me
rolls have the
too.
cooked fish. I don't do sushi. My husband does. I don't do it.
Shrimp is okay cold, but not raw.
No, but I prefer my shrimp breaded and deep fried. Although I'll like a nice shrimp cocktail too. There's one in
Absolutely.
Sunnyvale. Yeah, there was one in San Jose when we lived over there.
And Barbara says, Michelle, we bought a smaller one to begin with and then traded up almost instantly to a 7-quart. Depends on how many you're cooking for. This will make 2 meals for 2 of the chicken fajitas. My daughter wants a double. It has 2 sections so that she can cook 2 different foods at the same time. And she says she misses California rolls.
So did you live in California or come visit?
And Barbara says she had out-of-town guests and dinner was ready in 10 minutes plus cutting up time.
Wow.
Oh, the one my daughter wants is around $200. I don't know if what that is comparatively. I haven't priced them. Oh, Julie is back with another comment. Oh, let me see.
You're getting good at that translating.
Yeah, I'm getting better. And then all I have to do is copy and paste so that everybody else can see.
These threads so long.
And she says the answer in Turkish is in. Oh dear.
You lived there for many years, north and south. Oh my.
Cool.
Well, Mouse and I and Michelle, we're in sort of, I'm in central, Mouse and I are in central. Michelle is a little bit more north. Barbara is even more north.
Oh, we missed this one, Mouse. She says Impossible burgers that taste like meat, bleed like meat, but are actually vegetarian.
I don't know.
Why would somebody go through all that trouble?
I don't know. Some people, they are dedicated, but I don't eat a lot of beef, but when I eat it, I enjoy it.
Mouse says turkey for Thanksgiving, which seems like the most work-intensive craziness. I like turkey anytime. Yeah, I'm a turkey person. Barbara says, I'm in Eureka, California. It's foggy and cool here today. Good redwood weather.
Yeah, we woke up to a lot of fog. It was very drippy and wet. Tally got, her first, muddy walk. she's what we have to work with now. She's not a fan of having her paws wiped, and so it's a good thing we don't have like new carpet or new floors because it's going to be if we get rain, it's going to be a messy winter, but she's coming along nicely.
I've just decided carpets and animals don't go well together.
Well, we really like the carpet in the living room. Just one room that's got it. I like turkey the first day it's cooked, but after that, the leftovers never really, I like the stuffing. That's what I want I want the stuffing and the skin, which I know is not good for you.
John can't have the stuffing. He's allergic to sage.
Oh, dear. Sue's getting rain right now. Oh, send it down to us. Oh, and Tropic Entity says I'm a U.S. expat. I should pop that in. Over here just 10 years now. And oh my God, I love Eureka. Well, I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains, so we got our redwoods too.
And Mouse says there's a town nearby that make garlic everything. Even garlic ice cream.
Yes, Gilroy Garlic Festival.
That might give you strange burps.
They've got some good stuff over there.
And Joanne says, I'm happy camper. We finally got some rain. More to come this weekend.
Ah, that's great.
And Barbara says, well, now that I say that, Linda makes some scrumptious enchiladas. I really like that.
It's all that extra flavor, right? Turkey is rare for you in New Zealand. Interesting. So what would be in New Zealand? What would be a traditional holiday meal? Like we have turkey at our Thanksgiving and sometimes at Christmas.
Yes. And Tropic, do you have a regular name that we could call you if we can remember it? Have you tried the ice cream, Mouse? I adore garlic, but never had the ice cream. Got to the festival once, but they were out. And Michelle says, Barbara, there's a female garden writer. Her name is Amy that used to live in Eureka. Do you know her?
And now my brain is going empty because I used to read her stuff all the time.
And Sue Brown says, we just noticed neighbors across the street have 3 young turkeys now, wondering whether they are planning to feast on them later this year. Actually, it's little short notice if they're going to be doing it in November or December.
Yeah, Amy,
earlier.
Amy, Wicked Plants Amy. Eric, do you remember?
What's that?
Amy, Wicked Plants, the book Wicked Plants.
What about it?
What's her last name? I can see the book, little green book with wonderful little things. Yeah, she used to live in Santa Cruz too, and she wrote another book about living in Santa Cruz that I absolutely loved. And now it's kicking me that I cannot remember her name. Shoot. Well, look up Wicked Plants. And if you're a Santa Cruz lover, she wrote about
Amy Stewart.
Thank you, Amy Stewart. Thank you. My friends call me Ent or T. I'm not being coy. That's what I actually answer to. Well, we all have some interesting idiosyncrasies. Some the people know about, some they don't. And I think I passed that book along with a bunch of others to a young friend that was just getting started in native plants. But the book she wrote about when she first was finding plants and trying to build her garden in Santa Cruz was really, really great. I think it was when I was just first getting into native plants.
Chicken is the main dish, and for extra large gatherings, hangi is popular.
So what is
okay? That must be a different kind of bird. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, Barbara keeps a great little book, so she knows what to call people, and then she can remind us when we forget.
Okay, it must be slang.
I don't
No,
think that's it.
a traditional New Zealand Maori cooking of food using heated rocks in a pit oven, and it allows large quantities of food to be cooked without the need for commercial cooking appliances. Okay.
Sounds good. So they must cook all kinds of things then. It's covering up one little hole. So I made a dent in this little thing while we were here. I don't pay attention to how long any of this stuff takes me. See, I keep not paying attention to where I'm bringing my needle down, so I have more stuff to cover up. The nice thing about doing something simple like this is that I can concentrate more on the conversations.
Philippa says that the Christmas time is usually cold meals because that's their summertime.
Mm.
So that would be nice. And Barbara Clark says, California to Edinburgh. I bet that is an interesting story. Definitely a wardrobe change. Mouse says, I've had the garlic ice cream, but to be honest, my sense of smell and taste was pretty
garlic saturated. I bet.
Gotcha.
I mean, just driving through Gilroy, even when it's not festival time, it's just the smell is so intense.
Oh, and Philippa further defines hangi is a cooking style. Everything is cooked underground.
Nice. Yeah, I love our California poppies too. All right.
Poppies are so delicate.
Yeah, I wish the rabbits didn't eat all of ours. I had so many of them, and then we had rabbits. And now Tally's keeping a lot of the rabbits away, but the way she races through everything, we probably couldn't have poppies either. Now, here's what's going to be hard for me, okay? I want to, in my head, I want to fill this with just this one color so I can make larger things. But I'm already thinking that, I could blend this other color. And it's like, no, I might still go ahead and blend. I have this little bit, I should use it up, right? On here. But I am making progress on this. And what did T said? California to Virgin Islands to the Midwest, California, Midwest, California, Scotland. Life was an adventure. Wow.
Wow.
Well, I love that we can gather from all over the world. I think this is about it. I can hear my voice going, and I have another meeting in another hour and then a doctor's appointment. So I think I'm going to sign off and say thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And I love hearing all our favorite foods, and hope everybody is going to go off and enjoy the rest of their day and be creative, right? All right. See you all next week. Bye-bye for now.